All right, everybody. We got a returning special guest. Everybody, welcome back, Sal Abbinanti.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
Thanks
Sal.
for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. While Chris gets through his cold, hopefully he's not feeling too bad while we shoot the shit and he kind of watches.
You got to eat a lot too, man.
Yeah. Make sure you got to keep the nutrition going.
Yeah.
I had a sausage and egg croissant for breakfast today, so I'm feeling
you gotta go get like that triple at Wendy's. You still have the triple.
It's like a Baconator. That don't
3 burgers,
Dude. So okay, I normally am the cook of the family, and yesterday I got out of work and I was starting to feel a little crappy. I was like, I don't want to cook, so we went to Wendy's. Bought everyone dinner, brought it home, and I looked at the portions. I got mediums for me and my girlfriend, and I looked at them like, at any other restaurant, this is an extra large. It was outrageous, the proportions at Wendy's.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's like the old days when we had this supersize before they ruined it.
Wendy's is definitely trying to kill you.
Yeah.
I mean,
you said the triple. That used to be my go-to sandwich when I was in college. Was the triple?
Yeah.
And then I went to the doctor, and he's like, "Your cholesterol is bad." And I'm like, "Okay." Now I only do doubles. It's just doubles.
We used to do the triple when I was in college. You do the triple, and you'd get the chili.
Oh, hell yeah!
Remember when I don't know, does Wendy's still got their chili? They used to have these concoctions of chili where they put all kinds of, and I mean, it would just, and if you didn't eat it right away, it would distill into like the first 3 inches would be just grease.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so you had to stir it, but you were like, man, this is what I'm eating. It's just, it's literally like chili grease.
Yeah. That's just grease from the burgers that they throw beans into. Yeah.
And now they got lemonades and teas. It's just sugar with like a little bit of coloring in it, and so you wash it down with sugar. So
they're trying to kill you.
Wendy's is trying to kill you.
Yeah. My first job was working at Wendy's, and I was 15, and that was when the whole finger in the chili thing happened.
Oh man, yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. Way to bring up terrible memories.
Yeah, those are good times.
Yeah.
So Sal, you're back. We're here to talk Atomika. And I mean, it's already funded on Kickstarter, right? That's pretty huge. You got quite a bit of time left, but you got a lot of cool stuff you're doing along with the stretch goals. And I saw the campaign before we, talked about the interview with you and stuff, and it's a really cool character. It's really interesting. So like, just give us the rundown of like, where this character came from and what you wanted to do with it.
Well, Atomika came from, I couldn't get into comics. I tried as hard as I could. I stood in every portfolio line. I went to every con. I met with, Dark Horse and Marvel and DC and all these horseshit editors that now are selling Storm Windows that told you didn't belong in comics and whatever. And I was, I couldn't get in. I'd worked as an artist in advertising, but I wanted to be in comics. I didn't want to do draw old ladies eating cereal storyboards all day.
Yeah, who the hell wants to do that?
But it wasn't going to happen. And so everybody was starting to go indie, or at least some other guys I knew were doing indie books. And then I just said, you know what, man, I was a bartender, so I'm like, if I was going to do it, let's do it. But I was a huge Kirby guy. So Atomika came about just from being from New Gods. And I thought, look, if I'm going to do my own book, I want to do something that I think is cool and that I think I can really draw some, do some cool shit in there. You got to find something with some leverage on it. So Atomika just kind of came about of my love of Thor and Greek, and Kirby and John Buscema, and being pissed off at all these editors that told me to, that I should be a welder or something.
So when Atomika is like laying waste to people, that's what you're picturing as all those editors.
You just go, hey, if I'm going to pay for this and I'm going to do it myself, and I don't have an editor, and I never assumed anybody was going to read it. I just said, let me just do some cool shit.
Yeah.
And I was working as a bartender, so I was always like a vampire. I was always up all night and sleeping during the day. So I could really go to town and draw a lot at night without any distractions. And sometimes those fever dreams of no sleep create some unique perspectives on your work.
Mm-hmm. And the choice so you went with Russian gods. Now was there like an interest in that for you?
Well, you grew up in the 70s.
Yeah, that's true.
Russia was always the evil empire.
Right.
They were the bear, the Russian, and so I just thought, hey man, it would be a cool setting for a book, would be the evil empire of Russia being kind of like, Apocalypse and New Gods. And then when I started to do some research, I realized, man, it's pretty bad. I mean, the history of with Stalin and Lenin, it's horrible. I mean,
right. Oh yeah.
This guy's worse than Hitler. My God. He killed millions. He laid waste to millions of people and starved them and blah, blah, blah. So I thought, and then I pivoted to Russian mythology, and the characters are all there. There's just a ton of these great dark, based on Russian folklore and Russian mythology, of these villains and characters that I could kind of mesh. And Atomika just came about because he's a metaphor for technology. He's the god of the 20th century, and the Soviet the state, they told their people, religion's all illegal now. The state is your religion. Any religion is counterproductive to the state, and that's what happened in the Soviet Union. So I thought, hey, they literally created their own god. They said, we're your god, and like us with our cell phones and our technology has become our god in the 21st century, where we think it's going to solve all our problems. So I kind of a mishmash of that, but it's not a political book. It's not a religious book. It's just a lot of some ideas that I got, and I filtered them through my love of Kirby and being a bartender who was starving, to get into business. I wanted desperately to get into business. I was getting in fist fights with editors. That's how mad I was getting.
Wow.
They're bullshit critiques.
Yeah.
Of, your work is too disturbing.
Disturbing.
Disturbing was what one editor at DC told me.
Oh my God.
Now I think he's on the side of the highway picking up garbage with the stick and the nail.
It's like I could show him some books coming out today that probably would change that.
Hey, you either let that angst fuel you to do something, or you wilt and you go away, because the comic book industry's tough, man, and you're going up against a lot of guys that are very good and are professionals. So you can't go into it with any delusions that they're gonna. It's my dream. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. It's like running off and joining the circus. They don't need you, man. You need the circus.
Right. Right.
That kind of thing.
Who originally published this? Once you got going,
I went with at first. I started with this company in Canada called Speakeasy, and it didn't work out. They were, they spelled my name wrong in the ad twice.
Oh, no.
I knew I was in trouble. Yeah. So I just, after about issue 4, I just said, you know what, guys, this isn't rocket science. You put the ad in. Back in the day, you just put your ad in preview, and most comic stores, unfortunately, don't pick up indie titles anyway. I think like in the day, only 25-30% of comic stores even gave an indie title a shot.
Wow.
Because Diamond got rid of their return policy. So if you bought a book, you had to eat it if you didn't sell it.
Right.
That's why I figured, I better do something to market it differently, which is why I approached Alex Ross and different guys to do covers, because I thought, hey, maybe stores will give it a shot, even just for the cover. And if they could pick up my work, I just wanted people to give it a shot. If they didn't like it, I could live with it, but getting people to buy it was the tough part. Right. Getting comic stores to buy it is the tough part.
And it's almost like a completely different comic shop situation now, where almost every shop I go to, I see so many indie books on the shelves now.
It's cool, man. It's tough because there's a lot of brand loyalty. With comics, people go into the store, they know what they want, and they only usually have a certain set amount they want to spend every month or every couple of weeks. So getting them to try a new book, it's tough. You got to really get out there and do this. Which is why I used to do a lot of shows where you can actually meet and talk and let them see the book and flip through it.
Yeah.
Which is what I thought was really cool about Kickstarter, was at least, look, you can look at the page and go, when I fund a book or something on Kickstarter, I know in like 3 seconds. You flip through and you go, it's not my cup of tea.
Right.
Or, this looks really cool.
Right.
Couldn't do that with Diamond. Diamond, you had to put an ad, and then if you were an indie book, they put your ad in the back of that previous catalog, which was that thick.
Yep.
And I don't even know, is that still around anymore?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
people still use the
preview catalog is still there. Oh, yeah, it's still there.
Got mine right here.
Yeah. And if you were an indie title, they put you way in the back.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you'd have to flip, and you'd buy a whole page, and even then, you know, it was. Yeah. It's a tough call.
Unless you're a maniac like me, I don't think a lot of people are reading through all those. I mean, I'm kind of browsing through them to see if there's something interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many in those final pages. It's like,
you're
never going to buy them all, first of all.
Right. You got to do it all, man. You got to do it all. You got to go to the stores. You got to go to the cons. You got to do the small cons. You got to do the big cons. And even then, there's no guarantee people are going to give you a shot.
Right. So where does Mercury Comics come in all this?
Mercury was a company I started on my mom's kitchen table. It was just basically me.
Yeah.
You know? Which is I'd pay the bills. And I knew nobody else was going to publish it. I approached a couple of other companies, and they were like, well, you think you could get us Alex Ross? And I'm like, guys, that's it's about Atomika. You know? So I just said, you know what, man, the hell with it. I'm sick of going to these guys with my hat in my hand and kissing people's asses. It's like, you either want it or you don't want it. And then at some point you're just like, I'm just going to do it myself.
Right.
You know, I'm sick. I can't do this shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, standing in those lines, I can't. You know?
Yeah. So that was the final. How many issues did you end up? Because you said you started with that.
Well, Atomika was always meant to just be a finite story. It was meant to be 12 issues, and it wasn't meant to be ongoing and be. You know, I was going to do an annual called USSA, which was how they beat the United States in the Cold War in the book.
Okay,
but it didn't pan out, and because I didn't think the book was. I didn't think people cared. I didn't think it was selling enough to do an annual. So I wrapped it up at issue 12.
Okay. And now you're going back and just collecting everything together.
Yeah, well, what happened was, you know, I was doing a lot of shows in those days. Back in the day, I was doing like, 3 or 4 cons a month. So I was able to kind of get a lot of guys to contribute because I wanted, real cool covers, back covers, interior, whatever, just to kind of give the book a mythology of different images to kind of give it a shot. Mm-hmm. But the book started to come out infrequently because it was getting picked up, and then Diamond was giving me a hard time because I wasn't a big enough publisher and blah. So it became staggered. And in the comic business, man, if your book is staggered, you fall off a cliff. So there were a lot of things that just didn't come out. The continuity of the book broke the rhythm of people following it. But yet we had some pretty healthy numbers the first few issues, and then it really just kind of continued to decline. And I had a lot of good stuff that never got seen because it never got published. Darwin Cook did a piece for me that never gets seen, and Glenn Fabry did a second one, and Bill Sienkiewicz did another one. Ernie Chan, Gene Colan. There were a lot of these great pieces that I never published. So when I had a chance, people would say, "Hey, why don't you do a trade? Why don't you do a trade?" I'm like, "Well, I did the second trade." People are like, "Well, I don't know what the hell's going on. Where's the first trade?" And I'm like,
right.
"Oh shit! Now I gotta." And in those days, if you didn't put in an order of 100,000, printers were like, "No, we're not going to print, 10,000 copies or 5,000." So I'm like, I don't want to drop. I don't have $100,000 to drop on a book, that's limited. Right. So I said, the hell with it, and I moved on. But then when a company, Darkwood, there's a company in Eastern Europe, approached me about publishing it over there, I was like, yeah, sure. So they published it in another language, and I thought, wow, this is cool. And they sent it to me, and it's like this thick. Yeah. And where they put all 12 issues together, they put all the covers, all the inside covers, all the pinups and everything. I thought, man, this is really cool. Same story. Unless you're willing to print 100,000, they come out to be like $15 a book. And I'm like, nobody's going to care. So then, anyway, that's where Kickstarter came in. And so when I did The Hostage, which was my first Kickstarter campaign, I realized, wow, you could do this. You know,
Right.
you can at least see if people give a shit enough to where it's worth doing. And if they don't care, you just go, all right, I understand. I'm going to move on. But with COVID, every publisher and indie guy had to pivot. We had to figure out a new way to meet the fan base. And for an indie publisher, I mean, all bullshit aside, Kickstarter is perfect because indie people that buy indie comics it's like going to a Foghat concert. If you suck, they'll start throwing shit at you and they'll tell you suck right there when you go on stage.
Yeah.
And you get direct feedback, like, hey, what's with the shipping? Or why is it this? Or why is he bald? Or who do you think you are? Or, but that's what you get at a con.
Right,
If I saw you guys in Artist Alley and I was doing something you didn't like, you'd go, man, what's this shit all about?
Yeah, right.
So with Kickstarter, you cut through a lot of bullshit. And I could at least show you the book and you could look at it and go, all right, it's cool, but it's not my thing. Or, oh, man, I like it, but I really want the David Mack thing. So, all right, if you buy it for the David Mack print, buy it for the David Mack print. But at least I got Atomika in your hands, which is
right. Right. That's the important thing.
It's like Spanky and Little Rascals, where they let you in free and they charge you to get out.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. Yeah.
Remember where you had the theater with Donald?
Yeah. It's amazing.
I can't believe you guys remember the Little Rascals.
Oh, hell yeah.
I tell my wife, and she's like, "What?
Yeah, I got $1, man.
That's right.
I got $1. Yeah. I want to sing that every time I get paid.
Yeah.
But I think so. It sounds like Kickstarter has been a big help for you. And I mean, do you think? I mean, because the book's already funded, you have I think over 15 days left.
Yeah.
What do you think? Where did this popularity come from? I mean, were these people existing fans of Atomika, like waiting for this to come out? The art that you have, the amazing art, and a lot of the pages that you show, I think that's probably a testament to it as well. As like, okay, well, you're giving a lot up and showing people that how good the story is and how completed it is, right? That's another reason.
Well, I really, this is it for Atomika. I mean, I might come back to it. I mean, I don't know if I'll come back to it because I've started another project which I want to move on to, but I thought, look, this is it. I mean, I've got all this great Atomika stuff, these images and all these other covers and all this other things that people have contributed.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just, here it is and offer it up?
Yeah.
And I didn't want this stuff to go to waste because, like I said, Darwin Cook did a great piece for me. He's not alive anymore. Michael Turner, he's not around anymore. Gene Colan and Ernie Chan and a lot of so I thought it's a shame that these pieces are just going to kind of, just fade away and not ever be seen. So, but with Kickstarter, you got to do a lot of legwork, man. You got to get your mailing list, and I did a lot to bang the drum with The Hostage, my last book, and you got to get out there and try to really get the word out. And yeah, I'm super grateful that it's funded, and I'm just excited to be able to publish the book. So I took whatever money we had from The Hostage and I put it right into Atomika because I thought, hey, this Kickstarter thing is starting to gain some really positive momentum to effectively publish a book. Because I talked with Jimmy Palmiotti and the guys at Aspen, Frank over at Aspen Comics, and other guys that did successful campaigns with Kickstarter, and you find out a lot of do's and don'ts. Your first is order fulfillment. If you don't have order fulfillment, so many people have gotten burned on Kickstarter that they don't want to hear your bullshit anymore.
Right.
So if you don't have a solid plan on how you're going to deliver your product, you're going to lose them. And with The Hostage, I said, until we do 100% order fulfillment with my last Kickstarter, I go, I'm not doing Atomika. So I worked with Roops Comics who did our order fulfillment, and we got them all out, and everybody's got their books and their free stuff and their tchotchkes and all the commissions I did, the free commissions that come with the book. And we used that to piggyback onto Atomika. So thankfully it's worked out. It's in the comic supporters, the indie supporters came back around.
What are some of the exclusive little goodies people could get on Kickstarter for this version?
I didn't know it was important. I'll be honest, guys. When they said, when I was talking to Jimmy and they're like, Sal, you got to do all that stuff. You got to do the stickers and the bookmarks and the cards I'm like, what? What I thought I'm an artist. Here's the book, and I'm like, no, man. If you don't have stretch goals and you don't have all that extra stuff, people are just gonna move. So I said, okay, and I did it with the hostage. And you're right. It was. They're right. It was important. So with Atomika, we've got a great litho package with Alex Ross and Bill Sienkiewicz and Darwin Cook and Michael Turner. That and we've got postcards and we've got trading. We're doing a trading card, Atomika trading card set, which is one of the stretch goals. And I provide a piece of art with every book at one level, which I think it's important for people when they buy a book that they get an original piece of art, so they feel like it's unique to them. It's not a print. It's not that. Stickers. I did a sticker set which is based off of iconic. Antique kind of Soviet images that I found. Don't put them on your car or people might chase you, and go, oh, you're communist. Emails I get. Why don't you move back to Russia? I'm like, guys, I grew up on the north side of Chicago. Right. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about with this, comrade bullshit. And, or when they see the title of the book, God is red. Oh, Jesus hates you. I'm like, guys,
oh my God. Yeah.
It's a comic book.
It's a comic book.
Jesus ain't paying attention, everybody.
We got a ton of tiers for Atomika of lots of that cool stuff from, like I said, from bookmarks and postcards. And we did an Atomika coin, which is kind of a riff on if he was going to be on a piece of currency. Mm-hmm. So people love all that stuff, and we're throwing it all in. It's all involved to get them to give the book a shot.
So I like pointing out the like unique little things you do that everybody does, and the challenge coin was the one that popped up to me. So is it like a legit coin or?
Yeah. No, there's companies now that make these things. You can approach them, and as long as you give them a design and you provide the artwork, you tell them this is side A, this is side B, and they offer you silver, bronze, whatever, and it's a stamped coin. I mean, it's not as difficult as it used to be to make this stuff. It used to be, if you wanted to make something like that, you had to have a minimum order of like a 10,000 or 100,000. Not the case anymore. You can make. So I always overmake. So we got them. And then my next campaign, I just throw in extra stuff for the next one. We did that with the hostage. We put Atomika stuff that I had already in the hostage to kind of say, we got extra Atomika stickers and that to kind of get you, curious about what the next project is going to be. So, I always overprint them just so I got them like, stickers, you overprint the stickers. I love stickers. I go back to high school where you put that shit on your notebook.
Yeah, right.
Notebook, your Rush and your Van Halen stickers on.
Hell yeah.
So
the first stretch goal that came out, now it's a hardcover, right? It was. So
I got it here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this is what it turned into. This is what this is what it's going to look like. It's over 300 pages, and it's got everything in it. It's the whole McGill of all the extras, and Alex did a front and the back cover for me, and it went from soft cover to a hardcover, which was like real fast. Because it makes it, when you get a certain thickness, you don't want a soft cover because it won't sit right when you're reading. It'll fall all over the place.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, guys, if we can't get to a hardcover, then I don't want to do it. So we reached the first one, and then we were lucky enough we hit the second tier, which was the Alex Ross card, and then we hit the Bill Sienkiewicz, and then now we're trying to hit the David Mack. So I think we're going to be fine, and I'm going to include a lot more like I'm doing debt or free. I'm doing keychains and I'm doing stickers, and somebody's
Awesome.
like, "Hey, you should do an air freshener." I'm like,
air freshener.
No, you put your logo on an air freshener now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, shit, guys, why don't we just do condoms?
Yeah,
Why
right.
don't-
There you
why
go.
don't we do Soviet condoms? You know?
Yeah. A little more useful, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, can we swear on the show or no?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because I got a great Atomika cover story. One of my covers, number 11, is Simon Bisley. And Simon Bisley was always a huge fan of, because in the 90s he was doing the Lobo and the stuff he did for heavy metal. Remember, for Kevin Eastman, and he was. But Bisley's a maniac. He is literally like something out of Game of Thrones, one of the villains. He's that kind of guy. He's just he's a larger than life guy.
Yeah.
So I approach him about Atomika, and I go, listen. I met him at San Diego one year, and we were really drunk on Patron.
Hell yeah.
And Patron is like, you lose years of your life with Patron.
Tequila's a whole other thing.
You wake up and you're chained to a radiator with a kidney when you do Patron.
Hell yeah.
Like shit they give you when they want to get information out of you. So
yep.
I said, look, can you do a cover for me for Atomika? And he goes, all right, well, what is it? He calls me like 2 a.m. and he goes, I go, he's a just do what you want. He's the god of the Soviet Union. He's naked. He's wrapped in a Soviet flag. And he goes, well, can I give him a big cock? And I said, well, I'm like, well, I guess. He goes, well, can I make the hammer his cock? He's got a cock that's a hammer and a sickle, and then he hits people. And I'm like, so he hits people with his cock, Biz. I go, no. I said, I can't have a cover with a guy with a hammer.
Yeah.
Because they'll put me in the X-rated part of the catalog, which means nobody sees it. It's the adult part of the cat. Oh, you Yanks, you're all a bunch of pussies, and you should let me do. And I'm like, it's a great. How about the next one? You do that where he's got. Yeah. And of course, there was no next one.
There was no next one. Yeah.
But he did this amazing cover for me. Then he didn't have the hammer as.
Yeah.
I want to get.
That was his original idea. Yeah, that was his original. Glenn Fabry was the same way. He would do covers for me, and he would send me a layout, and the layout would be one thing, and then I get the cover, and I'm like, "What is this?" And he's like, isn't that what you wanted? I'm like, not really, but it looks cool, but that's not what we talked about. You Yanks.
Yeah.
It always goes back to us being American. You Americans, you worry too much.
Right.
Okay.
Oh man, that Glenn Fabry art with him like nailed to the hammer and sickle.
That's my favorite. All due respect to the other guys, that's probably my favorite cover. That and the Claudio Castellini cover.
Yep.
Where he's grabbing the logo. That was probably one where Claudio is one of those artists where he's probably my favorite Italian comic artist. There's a lot of talent, tremendous talent that comes out of Italy, but Claudio was always my favorite. And he reminded me, kind of evoked a John Buscema. And I just was like thrilled to have him, participate. And he's like, hey, can I have him grabbing the logo? I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
That's awesome.
What am I going to say? No.
Yeah.
What am I going
to? So I noticed that, like, for the main reward, just the omnibus itself, signed by you, there's only a limited number that you can get signed by you, right? Only 250. So if people want us,
I'm signing them all, man.
You're signing them all? Oh, okay.
I'm signing them all. I don't know what it says there.
Okay.
I mean, that may be what they say, based on probably we're not assuming we're going to go past 250. You never can assume. But all I know is that when we get the orders, I sign every one of them.
Oh, okay.
Now, some of them, if they want personalization, that becomes a little harder.
Okay.
Because I personalize them too. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not Elvis Presley where I'm like, oh, my time is too valuable. Who are they to think I'm going to sign it? Guys, it's not that hard to sign a book. If it is, you need to get in another business because
Yeah.
I've had real jobs. Signing books is not hard. I love when people bitch. I'm like, guys, have you ever worked as a roofer or a landscaper? I have. Do that all day.
Right.
And trade it for signing a copy of Atomika. And trust me, you'll be running to sign. Where's the Sharpies?
Yeah, exactly.
So I sign everything.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I'll come and sign it at your house if you buy it.
All right, so
there we go.
We're in New York, so we're good.
Yeah, no problem. And I usually do little remarks on there and whatever people want. It's not a problem.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know because
what does it say on there? I'm only signing what?
No, I was just reading because the ones that say signed say limited only like 119 left or something like that, and I didn't know if that was like a limited thing.
Whatever somebody. It's not a problem because I got to go sign them anyway. So if they're there, I'm just like, hey guys, I'm signing them all. Yeah, I mean, we may as well crack them all open and just sign them.
And you're doing original art too.
Yeah, there's a tier that I offer. I do an original drawing, and I paint them too, about this big, and it comes in one tier. I think it's the $70 and the $90 tier. That each one I do a watercolor and I do a drawing and I do. I've actually started working on them now. Oh wow! And I like doing them because I think when I buy a book, I like the idea that I'm getting something in there that's unique only to me, that it's not a print and it's not something that mass produced. So I think, hey, look, if you're going to take a shot at an indie title, the least I could do for you is a drawing in there. And then there's also a tier where I do an 11 by 17 commission. That's a lot more ambitious. And those are a little more expensive because if they were just, I could do what I wanted. Right. I love that. But a lot of times people want crazy characters. They want like some crazy shit sometimes. And I'm like, they want who? And it'll be something I never heard of. Can you draw Mary Marvel? And she's bent over a car. And then there's a guy there with the worm. And you're like, what? So I'm like, sure. I'm not crazy about doing it, but I'll do it,
Judgment free zone.
Right. But if it's just, hey, do Atomika, then I'll go to town, But you'd be amazed at some of the commission requests I got when I did the hostage.
That's so funny.
I'm reading it, I'm going, I don't know any of these characters. I gotta look it up to get reference from some bullshit characters I never heard of. But I'm like, sure, I'll do it. Whatever they want.
That's amazing.
I almost want to pledge this just to make you draw me a cod piece.
Yeah, cod piece.
Look, I always love when I hear creators complain about having to do a commission or having to do drawings. And I'm like, if you're an artist, isn't that kind of what you do? I don't understand, why it's a problem. And especially if someone's going to sponsor your book. I mean, if all they want is a drawing in return, it's not like you're asking me to help you move or something, or hey, my transmission isn't working, Sal. Can you drop a tranny for me? I'm like, guys, just don't buy the book then. I'm not coming over to help you move. It's packed. You ever move people where you get there and shit's not packed? You're like,
it's like you didn't
walking out with a coffee mug and a lampshade, and like wet towels and shit. I'm like, no, it's got to be in a box.
Right. It's got to be already ready to go.
Yeah, one of the stretch goals I think on my next one is I'll help you move, but it's going to be pretty high.
Okay. I'll pledge to that one. We're moving
right.
soon.
Because that's one of the things. You reach a certain age where I'm like, I'll hire movers before I help you move. That's how much I hate helping people move. Mm-hmm. I've done it enough where I'm like, I don't want to do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Just you lift up the mattress and see what's under people's beds and you want to kill yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that shit either. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, you have so much cool shit available. You just still so many stretch goals, and you're funded, you're overfunded. I mean, 18 days to go. What else could you want? I think it's going great for you.
It's a tough 18 days though, guys.
Yeah.
Because the problem, if you do Kickstarter, it's all at the beginning and it's all at the end. Yeah. And I'm telling you, everything in the middle, it flatlines because you get a lot of enthusiasm at the beginning, and then you get people that just kind of want to wait to the end just to see people. It's our nature to kind of procrastinate. And I wanted to do a shorter campaign. I was like, guys, I don't know if we need to do it that long, because it gets to be redundant. People really get tired of you banging the drum. I know I know I do when I see people constantly, but I don't know what else to do. And now it's that time of year. We're getting Black Friday. It's November. We got these odd weeks, Thanksgiving now, and then everybody's, So at first I was like, well, maybe we should wait until after the holidays. But the world's changing so quickly now, with business and COVID and the economy. But the bigger problem for publishers is publishing. Is because of the COVID delays, getting these books and getting printers to deliver your product, it keeps getting protracted further and further out. Right. So I wanted to get this book in the can so that I can deliver it before the summer, because the way it keeps getting pushed back just because if you're printing here in the U.S., they're like, hey, guys, we don't have the materials. We don't have the trucks. We don't have the, that when I talk to my printer, he keeps telling me maybe May, maybe June. And it's a big maybes. So I'm like, I wasn't crazy about doing it this time of year, but I thought, let's get going. Let's see how it goes. I know Black Friday. I know you guys are going to be waiting outside of Best Buy.
Those days are over for me.
I love when I see it on the news. I'm like, how much money are you saving to sleep on the sidewalk?
I don't know about you guys, but my time is worth a lot more than
I wouldn't sleep on the sidewalk to get laid by Cindy Crawford. And I see people sleeping on the sidewalk, and I'm like, no. Scarlett Johansson could be waiting for me at a hotel. Sal, you got to sleep on the sidewalk. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I ain't sleeping on no sidewalks for television. Save $30 on a crock pot, and stay outside all night, and sleep with like the little Benson heater, like I'm camping in high school. I'm like, what are you guys nuts?
You got to buy 5 crock pots.
I waited for Van Halen tickets, but that was when I was in high school. We stayed outside all night. When you're 18 years old, you could do shit like that. You just smoked a joint, you slept on a sidewalk with a sleeping bag. It was cool.
Yeah,
but I see grown-ups doing it now with the lawn chairs and the tents and shit. I'm like, what's wrong with you guys?
Dude, back when I used to work at GameStop, we did those midnight launches. Right. Watching people come in at midnight to get their fucking video game.
Yeah.
They couldn't wait till fucking 9 in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. Drove me nuts.
You must, things must be pretty good. I see pictures of other countries where they're waiting in line for bread. Yeah. And we're waiting in line for for a new issue of Bungie's putting out the new Halo.
Yeah,
sleeping on the sidewalk for Halo. I'm like, oh man. No,
I don't understand that too, because if you have the time and freedom to really sit there all night or for more than a night, you could have just bought the TV last week.
And it's how much? So it's $130 normally, but if you wait all night, it's $115.
Yeah,
but how much is $20 of your life worth?
Right,
9 hours on a sidewalk?
Yeah.
No.
No.
What are they giving out? Heroin? I don't understand what you're doing, that you're sleeping on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a methadone clinic. It's Best Buy.
So when I see that other countries look at us and they think we're crazy over here. We're that crazy about consumerism that we've lost our minds.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Right. I love seeing the all month Black Friday deals now. I'm like, let's keep that going.
It starts in October now. Yeah, it starts right after Halloween. Now they start the bullshit.
If there was one good thing that came out of COVID, it's the all month Black Friday thing.
Right.
Now we don't need people lining up in the street for it.
That's right. The other good thing about it came out of COVID is you get everything delivered to your house now. Everything. Booze, the liquor store delivers,
beer,
you get McDonald's delivers. How bad are you when you need the McDonald's brought to your house? You must, unless you're a shut-in, you got a problem.
That's the beauty of it. You just get anything you want. You never have to leave. Yeah. And you can get Atomika delivered straight to your door too.
Yeah, it's but you know what? It's still tough, guys, to go out there and ask people to support you. It really is. I wasn't really comfortable with it at first, but it became much more of a hey, if you're going to publish stuff now and there's no shows, there's no cons, and I did the cons regularly for 20 years. But I won't lie, I was kind of happy to take a year off.
Wow.
Because I was fried, man.
Yeah.
The smell of ass juice at cons gets to be, and the gal, the 400-pound chick dressed as Elektra who didn't shave, that gets tough, and the guy smuggling plums because he wore the bodysuit and he's got no underwear on underneath. I could go a year without that shit.
It's got its ups and downs for sure.
If you're gonna wear a tight bikini bottom Elektra, you gotta shave, man. You gotta shave. And if you're gonna smuggle plums and wear the gymnastic outfit and not wear underwear, you can't weigh more than me. That's just how it's gotta go. 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag with some of these guys. And they get the ass juice and the titty juice and they lactate. And then the juice is just meat in the back. And then they wear the same outfit 3 days in a row. They don't put it in the sink. So
they're not washing it at the hotel.
Them, it's like unearthing the plague. You wake up that stink from there. And then guys go, oh, come on, Sal, how bad can it be? I'm like, well, you've never done like Motor City Con in August.
Yeah.
And guys that don't know what soap is. So,
Oh yeah.
I had to do it at home for a year. I was okay with it. But I'll be glad to go back. I miss those guys. I miss the guy sitting on the floor of the bathroom eating fruit salad out of a Tupperware container. At San Diego, where there's 2 inches of piss on the floor.
Yeah,
and you're like, here you're going to sit and eat?
Yeah, right. Yeah, everybody always sits near the bathroom. Everybody always
cons. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, they always sit near the bathrooms. I don't understand.
Where they sit in the bathroom too is the part that I can't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it.
On the bathroom.
My favorite's the guy missing the con because the guy could charge his cell phone, so he's sitting on the dirty, nasty floor charging his cell phone while still using it.
Yeah,
dude, just go enjoy the con. Like, come on,
just go walk around the con. Go talk to people.
Those are always my favorites. Or the guys that you got a line. Look, nobody wants to have to shit at a con. Nobody does. But sometimes you know, Mrs. Fields and Coke and bad food all day only goes so far. Like those hot dogs that are made out of Jimmy Hoffa. You don't have a lot of options. And then every once in a while, you're like, "Hey guys, I got it, man. I got it." You got a turtle sticking his head out, and you got to fire off.
You just got to do it. You got to do it. Yeah.
And you go in the bathroom, and they use the stalls as changing booths, like they're at the Gap to put the cosplay shit on now.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm the guy. I'll pound on the door if you're in there more than 3 minutes, because it should be like a bombardier mission. You just do what you got to do and get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Because you got to stand like you're on a diving board. You have to hover above the toilet because you
got to perch.
Shit everywhere.
You got to perch.
Cons are the only places that you find shit that goes like on the walls. It's like being in an insane asylum. They throw shit on the walls like you're in a sanitarium. And so you can't touch anything. So I'm like, why are you in there changing? You see guys putting on boots and, does this belt match? They're having conversations, like they're teenagers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, I got to go, man. I got a medical condition here where like I got it, like it's literally coming out. Like it's on the way and it's not going to stop for this bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to, like, the SWAT team just kick the door open and throw them out and go, I got to go.
Yeah, right. That's amazing.
I missed that a little bit. I really.
Yeah.
The 2 inches of piss on the floor at the Javits Center.
You had your year break, but now you're kind of like, okay, maybe it wasn't so bad.
I'm just picturing the Sarah McLachlan song with all these images and Sal just sitting there like thinking about it.
Right.
Kicking down a bathroom
everything
door and
that people say about cons, good and bad, it's true. It's all true.
It's all true.
You've got a level of insanity there. You've got cool people. You've got crazy people. You've got people that should be locked up.
Yeah.
And then you've got people that just 3 days of not bathing. Where I'm like, guys, I've been there. I've slept on hotel room floors. I mean, my first San Diego, I slept in a bathtub because there were 12 of us at the DoubleTree,
Wow.
But, you could take a baby bath. It don't hurt you to wipe your pits, and to rinse that shit out in the sink if you're going to do cosplay.
Yep.
After 3 days, that Cosmic Boy outfit gets ripe.
Cosmic Boy. That's amazing. That's amazing.
That ass juice talks back to you after a couple days.
Yeah, it's you gotta, when you're coming home, you have to like register that as like hazardous material.
Yeah. Oh no, you gotta flush. You gotta just flush it down the toilet.
Yeah, you just gotta throw it out.
You gotta just burn it, throw it out.
Yeah.
Some things there's no going back.
Mm-hmm.
There's no going back.
It's amazing. Oh man. So
we'll be back. I mean, I'm not doing anything this year, but
no, nothing this year.
Not in 21. 22.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the full. I'll probably. I don't know about Emerald in the spring, but definitely San Diego next summer, and then,
awesome.
From then on, and I think it'll be different. I think they're probably going to always ask for COVID tests, or they're going to ask for your card. I don't know how the hell that's going to work.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
We're going to just have to adapt. But I think people want to go back to cons. I know I do.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I knew someone that went to New York Comic Con this year, and I think they had to show proof of vaccination or something to get in.
That's New York City.
I think a lot of it, in all frankness, I think, because San Diego's doing one this month, and Chicago, we're doing one here at C2E2 in December. I think a lot of those companies, like Reed and the professional trade companies, they just couldn't go 2 years without doing a show.
No, yeah, for sure.
So they're just plugging these in now just to get off the schneid, so to speak.
Yeah.
Say, we had a show in 21 to set themselves up for next year, because otherwise it would have been 2 entire years of no trade shows for them.
Yeah.
I don't think they expected the world to show up.
Right.
Because I think the fans were there, but there were no exhibitors, at least big exhibitors to speak of.
Right. Yeah, there was a lot of people missing for sure.
I think, it kind of harkens back to cons when we started doing them, where they were like in a church basement. It was just the guys with long boxes and back issues of Eternals and the box.
I miss Artist Alley, where you can't even move. That's what I miss.
It'll be back.
Yeah,
I have all the confidence in the world it'll be back.
Yep. Awesome. Well, Sal, man, thanks for all your time.
Guys, I appreciate it.
Effort.
I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
No, who cares? They already funded your book, so that's
I'm grateful. I don't take any of that stuff for granted, man. Getting stuff funded and getting people to give you a shot when you're a comic person, any comic person, much less an indie comic person, is tough. So
well,
I'm very appreciative, and if anybody, and I'm like the $2 whore at the naval base. I'm everywhere. So if you go on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, Sal Abbinanti, I'm there, and you could take a look at all the stuff before you decide, or if you decide, or or even if you want to hear the Bisley story again.
I think people are going to. People are going to want to hear that one again. That was pretty good. I'm actually happy we got to hear that one. That was pretty fucking crazy.
So everybody, I'll have the links to the Kickstarter down below. So make sure to check the show notes so that you can check out that Kickstarter.
And again, I answer all the comments. So anybody who goes on who has a question about it, who has a question about any of the stuff, I don't have people that do that stuff. That's me.
It's just you.
I answer the comments, and I found that you get some great feedback with the comments. The comments are always about stuff that, if people think you're trying to, I think shipping became a big thing where a lot of people were kind of padding their shipping to make more money. That's not the case with us. The problem with us is the shipping's a little high because the book is heavy. We ship in a large box wrapped in a lot of bubble wrap. We throw a lot of extra stuff in there. And I don't like to use the post office as much as you use it somewhat, but I don't like it when they just throw a box on a porch and leave it. So that's why we use the post office and we use UPS, and it's a big box. It's heavy and it's well packed. Because some of these are going overseas, and then there's nothing worse than, hey, I got my book and it got ran over by a truck. And you're like, oh, shit, because they just threw it in a sleeve and then they sent it off to you.
Right. That's the worst.
So we're not, trust me, what am I going to do? Pad shipping? I mean, that's like the shit you see on eBay when a guy's trying to sell you a toaster or something. It's like, no, I'm not doing it. And then the guy's like, well, it's too expensive. You're sending it to Peru. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. How much does it cost to go to Peru? I mean, it's hard to ship a book to Peru.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what sucks about a hardcovers. Hardcovers, if you by the time you ship this, sometimes the shipping costs more than what the book actually costs because of the weight of it. Everything's based on weight nowadays. And we've gotten so spoiled in this country where Amazon, my God, you get it the next day. You could order a mail order bride from the Philippines, and she shows up on by 12 o'clock on Friday.
That's amazing.
Going, where's my MTV?
That's amazing. That is amazing.
We get it like that. People are spoiled.
Yeah. We're spoiled a little bit.
We got it pretty damn good.
Yeah.
We got to get that triple at Wendy's, guys. Next time I see
know. No, we're going. We're doing it.
You're like the two guys I know what that is. I don't know anybody that knows what a triple is. I swear.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that we know that.
It's because I worked there and I used to sell them.
Okay. What was the worst thing about Wendy's? Like the worst thing?
The worst? I mean, it wasn't that bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was 15, 16. I think I quit when I was 18.
Yeah.
There's in terms of other jobs I had in my life.
Drive-through in those days or no drive-through in those days?
Oh, yeah, drive-through. Yeah.
Drive-through, okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, I've had way worse jobs. When I hear people complain about fast food, I'm just like, yeah, you should try some other jobs because I've had to carry fucking shingles up onto a roof. Like it's pretty easy.
Yeah. I mean, and it's good. You got to have those jobs because it gives you perspective. It creates clarity in your life. Where when people bitch, I'm like, guys, have you ever had a real job like job? Like you said, roofing and landscaping, planting holes for trees all day.
Oh, God, landscape. I hate landscaping.
Landscaping. I mean, and if you work with a Mexican crew, Mexicans do more before 12 o'clock than most people do, like, all day. They put you on a crew with a bunch of guys that came from Mexico. Those guys kill you, man. They work their asses off.
They work really hard, yeah.
Oh, my God. And I'm like, guys, we're getting paid by the hour. Take it easy. Slow down. And they're like, they just want to get done.
Yeah.
So whenever I see guys complaining about Mexicans, I go, guys, you've never worked on a crew with a bunch of Mexican guys. Those guys work their asses off. And when have you ever seen a Mexican guy on a corner asking for money, with a cup?
Right.
Never. Right. Those guys come here and they work their asses off. So when I would get on a truck in the morning, I'd look and I saw the Mexican guys and the other. I'm like, I'm going with the other guys because the Mexican guys are not afraid. If it's 150, they laugh. You got to listen to their Freddie Fender tape, in the car or Selena. You got to put up with that. But work-wise, you get your ass kicked when you work with those guys.
That's amazing.
They're my favorite people to talk to on a work site too because they are ruthless.
Yes.
They'll just be like, "Oh, what a fucking pussy!" Like, shut up.
Yes, and then you learn a lot of good swear words. You learn a lot of good Mexican swear words. I mean, like stuff. And you ask what the translation is, and it's always a layered translation of perversion. It's never just they call somebody something. They call somebody something related to their God and their relatives, and because their mother was no good. And you go, really? All that went into that swear word? And they're like, yeah, that's what that means. I'm like, shit. I thought it just meant, asshole or something.
Awesome.
Well, Sal, thanks so much for being on again, man. We'll have to do it again soon.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.